Two more races still to come up today. It is time for the first time in 2025 to catch the Caterham Academies. Dave, over to you.
Yes, thanks Ian. So now it is over to a group of drivers nervously awaiting their very first motor race. The Caterham Academy, sponsored this year by Mubob, is open only to drivers who have never held a race licence before, and the idea is you buy the Academy car from Caterham and you get as a package your race licence test, your test days and everything else, and then the season begins with a sprint event that was held at the Kerborough sprint course near Lichfield in Staffordshire 2 weeks ago. That is just driving solo against the clock, and then you go into your race programme, and this is the first race of the season for the Mubob Caterham Academy. They say a new sponsor for the championship this year. Well, the cars are coming up to the grid then. We're scheduled to see 31 drivers start their first ever motor race here. Qualifying took place this morning, and it was the winner of that sprint at Kerborough who has set pole position for this race. Londoner Max Richardson in car number 6, the green and gold car. He is on pole. Number 19, Kyle Townend alongside him. Row 2, 24, Sebastian Tolle, and 89, Ollie Smith. Not the same Ollie Smith who we saw in the junior saloon cars earlier, incidentally. Row 3, Ben Oliver, number 80, and number 12, John Bond. Row 4 is George Hawkins, number 56, and 55, Oliver Walsh. Nick Tomadakis, number 77, on row 5. He was briefly quickest in qualifying, got bumped down late on, alongside Richard Davies, the Welshman, number 25. He was second at Kerborough in the sprint, completes the top 10 on the grid here. Third at Kerborough was number 99, Matt Fox. He's on row 6, alongside 86 of Richard Watson. Row 7, number 4, Richard Northridge, and 62, Georgina Tuffin. Then 47, Sam Eminson, 27, Rob Hicks. Row 9 is 70, Joe Oliver. Number 10, James French, completing the top 20. Number 72, Christian Bond, and number 88, Mark Hensler. On row 11, 13, Stephen Vischer, and 21, Luke Wilson. Not the same Luke Wilson who was in the Austin A40 in the previous race, incidentally. This championship, as you say, only open to drivers who've never held a race licence before. They're all complete novices. Row 12 is 15, Shane Forster, and 14, Andrew Johnston. Row 13, 8, Jason Spencer alongside 11, Stuart Beggs. Row 14 is Ross Pamphel on number 67 alongside 23, Chris Longley. I know his son Chris was in the chat earlier on YouTube. Row 15 is 37, Andrew Symington, and 33, Martin Smith, and 22, Michael Smith rounds out the grid. Previous years we'd seen the Academy run in 2 groups, green group and white group, in the corporate colours of Caterham, but this year it's all one group in the championship. Who's going to win their first ever circuit race today here at Brands Hatch? What a moment. This group of newcomers to racing get their first ever race in front of the truck racing crowd here on the Brands Hatch Indy circuit. 31 cars out there for a 20-minute race for the Mubob Caterham Academy. Ben Oliver's silver car on row 3 alongside the number 12 of John Bond. Revs are up and away they go, and a great start from the outside of the front row by Kyle Townend. One car very slow away there in the midfield, protected by the yellow flags. Got it going now. That's the number 25, which is Richard Davies. Second at Kerborough, but a poor start to his first circuit race. All round Paddock Hill Bend okay, and it is the pole sitter by the looks of it who's gone into the lead. Yes, Max Richardson, the number 6, has taken up the running ahead of the 19 of Kyle Townend. They'll make their way tentatively through Druids for the first time. Richardson from Townend then. They head through Graham Hill Bend. It's number 80 of Ben Oliver in third position, the silver car. Saw a glimpse of Georgina, number 62 there, who we heard from, Georgina Tuffin, the light blue car with the red nose. Sebastian Tholle in there as well. He had a bit of a moment during his sprint at Kerborough. I saw a photograph of him flying off into the grass, unfortunately. He's kept it on the island so far. Here at Brands Hatch, they all have as they make their way around on their opening lap. One car moving out to the outside there. Now It is a little tricky to see the numbers on these Caterhams at speed, so I'll apologise in advance if I do miscall or misidentify anybody. Richard Davies fighting back up the inside. All these cars with the novice cross on the back, of course. Richardson leads it from Townend, Oliver. Fourth place is the number 55 rather of Walsh, then 24 Sebastian Pole. There is the 55, it's Oliver Walsh. Pole a bit sideways behind him. Then the number 12 car, which is John Bond. Max Richardson already looking good out in front, already with a win under his belt in the sprint. The 80 car just clipping the curb there. Running wide, that's Citrus yellow machine number 56, that's George Hawkins, ahead of number 99. Third at Kerber, Matt Fox, a little further back in the order here. Ollie Smith there ahead of this pairing, that's the number 89. So the battle developing ahead of them there. First three have broken away slightly, Richardson, Townend and Oliver. That's 1.5 seconds ahead of everybody else. Sebastian Pole in fourth place, and a big lock up there, and there's a bit of contact. That was number 89, Ollie Smith. The front number plate's gone flying. Hit the back of the 77 car of Nick Tomadakis. Missed his braking point there for Druids, but that's what it's all about. It's all about learning to race, learning your craft, learning your braking points, among other things. Frightened to race side by side. We can see here number 12, that's John Bond making his way past the 55 of Ollie Walsh. He runs wide on the exit. Tomadakis back up the inside. That's the 13 car that's had a moment. Stephen Vischer further back in the order, 3 wide down Paddock Hill Bend. You wouldn't know they were novices, would you? Great stuff. 77 of Tomadakis moves ahead. That's Hawkins to the inside. He's going to make up 3 places in one move. He judges his braking right here. Oh, superb. They're shaping very quickly as racing drivers, these Bob Caterham Academy drivers. Tomadakis keeps John Bond on the outside. Hawkins has a look on the inside. The 55 of Ollie Walsh in there as well. Meanwhile, Max Richardson still leads from Kyle Townend. It's the number 80 of Ben Oliver in third place, then Sebastian Pole fourth. This is the battle for 5th position. Nick Tomadakis leads it at the moment. George Hawkins up into 6th place in the 56, the Citrus yellow car. Georgina, or Jaws as it says on the number plates, the light blue car with the red shark's teeth on the nose. Georgina Tuffin, we heard from her in the assembly area. They'll got over their nerves now and be focused on the fight on track. Georgina there is the 25, Richard Davies. Penarth in South Wales. He's down in 16th at the moment. On the outside there, John Bond, the number 12, attacking George Hawkins. That's for P6. Just the midfield can charge. They're all tough in a bit sideways there in the 62. They're all still running, I think. Yes, last runner is number 31 at the moment, which is one of the Smiths, Michael Smith. Number 22, I should say, in 31st place. Fox up the inside there in the 99. One car running a little bit wide, the 27 car of Rob Hicks. The blue car with the yellow wheels, but he gathers it up again. Racing within their limits, not pushing too hard. As the laps count up, you'll be able to see the drivers starting to explore their limits a little more as they gain confidence. Richard Davies here up on the outside of Richard Northridge in the yellow and black machine. Max Richardson leads by half a second. Hawkins diving up the inside. He's really gaining in confidence, George Hawkins here, but he's outbraked himself a little there. Is he going to be able to keep the inside for Graham Hill Bend? Is Tomadakis going to fight back on the outside now? He's braked too late. Too busy concentrating on the other car, perhaps, there. He's going to get the inside line. This is a great fight for P5 at Surtees. Tomadakis and Hawkins together. A lot of these drivers will have driven before on things such as track days, so they'll have experience of this sort of driving, but not in a full-bore race, maybe. John Bond behind them. First 4 have escaped ahead of this frantic battle. A bit of wheel banging there. Tomadakis and Hawkins, and here comes John Bond. 3 newcomers going 3 wide into Paddock Hill Bend. John Bond goes through. Now, there's not many experienced drivers who can say they made a double pass into Paddock Hill Bend. That was cracking stuff. They are loving this. And the 55 Ollie Walsh closing up as well, and the 89 as well. Ollie Smith had a bit of contact earlier on. John Bond's gone wide at Druids, but he holds it together, keeps it on the tarmac. Richardson leads with Townend, Oliver and Sebastian Tholle in 4th place, further ahead. They're about 6 seconds up the road of this little lot. John Bond is still there in P5, the white and purple car. Then it's Ollie Walsh now up in the 6th. He's got ahead of Tomadakis and Hawkins. Ollie Smith next in the 89. There's Matt Fox, the 99, in behind them. Fastest lap of the race has just been done by the 3rd place man, Ben Oliver, number 80. He's done a 56.86. Tomadakis side by side with 55. Ollie Walsh fly by, as it says on his number plate, and Tomadakis, I think, is flying by. Yes, he's got through at Paddock. Certainly know no fear, these Caterham Academy racers. This is great stuff. This coming up on the outside now, 47, silver car, Sam Eminson. Heading sideways there, nearly lost it. He said the drivers will start to explore the limits a little more. That's exactly what they're doing as they gain in confidence. As in front of it all is Max Richardson. He still leads by 8/10 of a second now, the Londoner, ahead of number 19, which is Kyle Townend. He comes from Selby in Yorkshire. Most likely to see just about all of this grid next year upgrade their cars and go into the Caterham Motorsport Championship. Paul Rage is on at the front of the field. Scrap further back, headed up by Bond and Tomadakis. The top 4 beginning to overlap with the back markers, we'll see in a moment. Fox on the tail of George Hawkins now. There's Sam Eminson. Ollie Smith behind, then the 86 car, the green car there is Richard Watson. Comes from Toaster near Silverstone. Here's our leader. Haven't seen much of Max Richardson so far. He's already won the sprint. He leads the yellow machine of Kyle Townend. With the race leader, the back marker ahead. Ben Oliver is 3rd, Sebastian Tholle is 4th. This couple of back markers, I think, have been lapped. Here's another lesson to learn. What happens when the leader is coming up behind you? Number 11 there is Stuart Beggs, about to be lapped. Shown the blue flag by the marshals. Moves aside. Driving by Stuart Beck, lets the top 2 through. Flag signals, all part of the written part of your ARDS licence test, the ARDS Association of Racing Driver Schools. The fastest lap for Sebastian Tholle, the 4th place man, the white car there with the red trim, all over the back of Ben Oliver. Tholle is really thrashing that car around, he's sliding about all over the place. Looks spectacular. Won't necessarily help his lap times. He's in the slipstream though of Ben Oliver. Is he going to try and go for a lunge into Paddock Hill Bend? He's on the tail of the number 80. He's learning slipstreaming. Look, he right on the back there. He got into the tail a bit late there to get down the straight. You need to do that at the top end of the straight and then draw past. Going to go for the inside into Druids instead, and he gets the move done. Driving by Sebastian Tholle. Based in Leatherhead in Surrey. That's Ben Oliver. Comes from Norwich. Snetterton would be his local circuit, but the Caterham, the other Caterham Championships racing last weekend. All 31 cars still running. 10 laps completed by our leaders. Here comes the leader. He's had to go wide there to lap the number 23 car of Chris Longwood. Lewis in Sussex. Somebody may have just had a spin in the background there. I heard a squeal of tyres. Can't see anybody off. Oh, there he is. It's number 11. It's Stuart Beggs. Maybe spun while trying to get out of the way of the leaders, and he's beached in the gravel. That's a clear ways. Not a clear way out of the gravel for him, though. Sadly, that might mean a safety car. There are the leaders. Max Richardson still unable to shake off Kyle Townend. Up to 3rd now, they're lapping one of the tail enders. Then Oliver, up on the outside, and the safety car is being deployed. Thought it might, with Stuart Beggs, the Londoner, stuck in the gravel. There is the safety car. Ford Focus Estates picked up our race leader, Max Richardson. 8.5 minutes just over of the race to go. I have to say, this has been a very impressive display so far from the Caterham Academy in their very first race. Our commenters cheering the drivers on. One says cheering on Ollie Walsh all the way from California. One says go George. I think that means George Hawkins. That's what had happened. Stuart Beggs had spun there, and if he kept on the tarmac he'd have been able to rejoin, but he drove through the gravel. Caterham and Sandy do not make good rally cars. Andrew Miller-Swan says, come on, Ben Oliver, number 80. Taryn says, go Andrew J. Las Vegas is cheering for you. That means Andrew Johnston, number 14. So that car has sunk, unfortunately. That's going to need a lift from the marshals. Safety car out, Max Richardson leading from Kyle Townend. Bastian Thulle third. Ben Oliver. Nick Tomadakis up to fifth ahead of John Bond. Now he's finally got past him. And Ollie Walsh, Matt Fox, Sam Eminson and George Hawkins has dropped down to 10th. It's the citrus yellow car with the orange roll cage. He's got Ollie Smith and Richard Davies behind him. Then it's Richard Watson. 27 of Rob Hicks, and running up the top 15 is Georgina Tuffin. Now the next lesson, how to line up behind the safety car. On pass, of course, you'll get a penalty. Gain an advantage. Go Shane Forster, says Gabriel Forster. 15. Where is he in the 20th. Pickup being brought in to tow Stuart Beggs out of the gravel. Martin Fowler says go Fox from the team in Singapore. That must be Matt Fox, number 99. All over the world. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Never mentioned we got our 500 likes as well. We've got nearly 600 now. Let's see if we can get 1,000 likes across the weekend. Separate streams tomorrow. Let's see if we can get 1,000. Let's come on. Well, Stuart Beggs' car is towed in. Out of the race. Just the one race, of course, for the Caterham Academy, and they've got just over 4 minutes of it left. Exige 320S says go Kyle. That means Kyle Townend in second place. Are we going to resume racing this time? No, one more lap behind the safety car. It's going to be a sprint of about 3 laps to the line. Evan in Canada, so he was from the US in Canada. How many starters? He says 31 in this race. Lindsay cheering on George Hawkins from Washington DC. Richard looking on from South Africa. Dan Longley cheering on his dad Chris. Where is Chris Longley at the moment? He's 28th. Heading in this lap, the lights are out. Now, how to do a safety car restart is your next lesson, Caterham Academy. Who's going to get it right? Sebastian Thulle positioning himself to the inside there. You can't pass until the timing line. Off they go. The first and second place cars have taken the green. We're back underway. Across the line they go. Race is back underway. Tomadakis under fire from John Bond there. The 2 leaders have a scale. I think there's a back marker just behind them. That might be why the field has split slightly. There's back marker traffic in there behind these 2. There is Thulle in 3rd place ahead of Ben Oliver. Then Tomadakis, John Bond, Ollie Walsh and the rest of them. They head through Druids. Remember that the tyres will have cooled down slightly during those slower safety car laps. Just 2 minutes left on the clock, so it's a short sprint to the line. Running wide there, George Hawkins nearly clashes wheels with Richard Davies as the Welshman goes by. Max Richardson looking good for victory. Just between him and Kyle Townend now. George Hawkins has been one of the more spectacular drivers in this race. Oh, they got either side of the back marker there, goodness me. That was a brave move around the 23 of Chris Longley. Hawkins has emerged ahead of Richard Davies. He's got, I think that's Ollie Smith in behind the car. It's missing its number plate after a bit of contact earlier on with Nick Tomadakis. He's up to 4th now. Yes, Thulle has fallen back a couple of spots on that restart out of our view. We're watching the action further back, so Sebastian Thulle has lost a couple of places. There he is. Oh, and John Bond over the curb there on the inside. That was nearly a dive bomb. He's gone very wide on the exit. He got Druids completely wrong there, and he loses about 4 spots as a result. Thankfully, no contact. The 47 diving through. Sam Eminson there sliding about ahead of Matt Fox. They're certainly loving this. Kyle Townend's done the fastest lap of the race, 56.674. Thulle across Surtees. Goodness me. This isn't the Caterham Drift School, not just yet anyway. I know Sam Parker, one of our presenters on our Caterham weekends, is an instructor there. Maybe Sebastian Thulle could work with her. Into the last lap now. It looks like it's going to be a win for either Max Richardson or Kyle Townend. They've pulled nearly 5 seconds clear of the rest of the field as Matt Fox drives up the inside into Paddock Hill Bend. Trying to make up a place on Sam Eminson, and does so. Still this battle raging on. Sam Eminson throws it back around the outside. They've given a great account of themselves. Very entertaining, very enjoyable racing from the Mubob Caterham Academy today. But here comes the lead battle into Surtees the last time. Can Kyle Townend get a run on Max Richardson, or is it going to be a second win? He won the sprint at Kerbera, and I think he's going to win his first ever circuit race today. From London, Max Richardson in car number 6, up towards the line. Kyle Townend is not quite going to catch him. Up to the checkered flag. Richardson the winner, Townend second. They're well ahead of the rest. And over they come for 3rd place. It's going to be Ben Oliver. Just beats Sebastian Thulle home for 3rd place. Tomadakis tops that huge battle for 5th. Ahead of Ollie Walsh, Matt Fox, John Bond, who nearly lost everything at Druids on the penultimate lap. Sam Eminson and Richard Davies complete the top 10. What a superb show of motor racing. You wouldn't know they were novices, would you? Some of the drivers sounding their horns as they cross the line. I think the crowd here at Brands Hatch will give the drivers a big round of applause for that. And now, all 31 of the ladies and gents on that grid can call themselves racing drivers. It's going to be a great season for the Mubov Caterham Academy this year. Max Richardson takes the win. He won the sprint at Kerbera. He wins the first circuit race of the year here at Brands Hatch for the Caterham Academy. Just 0.172 of a second ahead of Kyle Townend. And Ben Oliver completes the podium ahead of Sebastian Tollet. Then came that huge battle for fifths. Nick Tomadakis ahead of Ollie Walsh, Matt Fox, John Bond, Sam Eminson and Richard Davies completing the top 10. George Hawkins tried hard, ended up 11th ahead of Ollie Smith, Richard Watson and Rob Hicks. Georgina Tuffin completing the top 15. Sadly, just the one non-finisher there. Bad luck to Stuart Beggs after getting stuck in the gravel at Clearways. But full credit to all our Mubov Caterham Academy drivers for putting on a fabulous show of motor racing at their very first circuit race. We'll head down into Parc Fermé with Ian in just a moment.
Well, welcome down everybody to Parc Fermé. Max Richardson has just come in, absolutely punching the air in delight. Max, that meant something to you, didn't it?
Oh yeah, oh, that was mega. Kyle pushed me really hard on that last lap. I thought he might go for a move, but
Were you a little bit, you having to do the restart there under the safety car, were you a little bit nervous?
yeah, I've seen that a million times in F1. I thought that's easy, that. And then in the moment,
What is it really like then?
terrifying. Oh my god. But no, I got a nice little jump, so I was safe into turn 1, and Kyle got a great jump as well. So those two final couple of laps, it was just us. But
to be fair, you two just dropped the rest of the field, didn't you? So
yeah,
great stuff.
Oh, I'm buzzing.
You've got to do it all again tomorrow, mate. Well done, congratulations, you did amazing. Well done, fantastic. Let's grab Carl for a chat as well. As he just said, he pushed Max all the way. Carl, congratulations, that was fantastic.
That was
Max, just a slight edge.
Yeah, he was so quick, he just didn't make a mistake. That was my only strategy, wait for him to screw up, and he didn't, so maybe next time.
Look, you two fantastic after the safety car restart, you just dropped the rest of the field.
Yeah, the pace felt really good. Max, he drove in a predictable way, it was easy to race, it was great.
Just tell me, I can't see your face really, but you're smiling under there, aren't you?
Like you wouldn't believe. No, you would not believe it. Yeah, this is mega.
You want some good news? Got to do it again tomorrow. Well done.
Cheers,
congratulations.
mate,
good stuff indeed. Congratulations as well to Ben Oliver, just coming home in third place as well. Just come with me, stay with me a little bit if we can, just for a moment. The rest of the cars coming in as well. There is the Classic Touring Car Racing Club, just the other side of the fence, the pre-83s. They are about to head out on track very shortly for our final race of the day. I'm going to hand back to Dave to take you through the action.